for the opportunity we have to show our joy in the Lord through our voices and to celebrate Him and the gift of grace that He gives us. Please continue to sing with us this morning.
What gift of grace is Jesus, my Redeemer? There is no more for heaven now to give. He is my joy, my righteousness and freedom, my steadfast love, my deep and boundless peace. To this I hold, my hope is only Jesus, for my life is wholly bound to His. Oh, how strange and divine, I can sing, all is mine, yet not I, but through Christ in the night is dark, but I am not forsaken, for by my side the Savior He will stay. I labor on in weakness and rejoicing, for in my need His power is displayed. And to this I hold, my shepherd will defend me, and through the deepest valley He will lead. Oh, the night has been won, and I shall overcome, yet not I, but through Christ in me. No fate I dread, I know I am forgiven. The future sure, the price it has been paid. For Jesus bled and suffered for my pardon, and He was raised to overthrow the grave. To this I hold, my sin has been defeated. Jesus now and ever is my plea. Oh, the chains are released, I can sing, I am free, yet not I, but through Christ in me. With every breath I long to follow Jesus, for He has said that He will bring me home, and day by day I know He will renew, until I stand with joy before the throne. To this I hold, my hope is only Jesus. All the glory evermore to Him. When the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me. To this I hold, my hope is only Jesus. All the glory evermore to Him. When the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me. 'Cause when the race is complete, still my lips shall repeat, yet not I, but through Christ in me. Yet not I, but through Christ in me. Yet not I, but through Christ in me.
But I actually got to be on the sidelines for that game. It was really cool. I asked Coach Hood, I said, hey, do you mind if I hang out with the guys on the sideline? He was like, absolutely, just don't get in the way. I was like, I can handle that. I can stay out of the way. And not even 2 minutes later, another coach comes up to me and hands me 4 iPads. He's like, hey, I need you to take care of these. I'm like, thought I was supposed to be out of the way. He's like, no, you're going to be the media guy tonight. I was like, okay. There goes staying out of the way. But my job was to make sure that all the plays come up on the TV. You know, because in high school, they do it like college now. And so they go over there and they sit on the sideline and they review plays and they're going over it. So I'm over there and I'm getting everything set up. And first time comes around, coach comes over there. He's like, why is TV not working? I'm like, I don't know. Come to find out, the HDMI cord was bad. So I failed at that. But I bring that up because in the process of being out there, there's a young man. His name is Brooks Ford. And during the game, he got injured. The extent of the injury doesn't look good right now. He's going to have an MRI Monday. But we're talking about road to recovery, and he's going to have a lot of recovery to go through. And so I wish and I hope that y'all guys would pray for him and keep him in your thoughts and prayers. It just about broke me down sitting back there with him and hearing him talk about that this was his year to be the man, you know, and this was his year to leave a legacy at Leeds and, you know, to be that leader that he'd been looking forward to. And, you know, all that is now gone or seemingly gone. And I can only imagine what his weekend was like, you know, sitting in his bedroom and going through all those thoughts and things like that. And you know, and there's a lot of recovery in that. When we think about road to recovery, we always think about alcohol and drugs, and it could be something as simple as that. Maybe we need recovery from thoughts and hang-ups, and maybe we're in a bad place in life and we need help with that. It doesn't have to be alcohol abuse or anything like that. And so we're in Celebrate Freedom Road to Recovery, and we're in part 3 tonight. And like Billy talked about, is it's making that commitment to lay it down to God, to give it all over to God. And when I was studying for this, I came across a really funny story, and it kind of made me think about, you know, how this really works. And it's a pet store delivery guy. And he came up to the kid that worked for him. He said, hey, man, we've got a quick, urgent delivery. We've got to get these canaries across town. He's like, all right. So they were loading all the canaries up in the back of the truck. And he's like, follow me on the way there to make sure nothing goes wrong. And so they're driving. And at each and every single red light, the guy would get out and beat the side of his truck and then get back in. And the guy's like, what is he doing? And he'd get to the next red light and he'd jump out with the 2x4 and start beating the side of his truck again and jump back in. And they got to where they were delivering it, and he said, what are you doing? He said, we have 4 tons of canaries in a 2-ton truck. And so that kind of reminds me of what our life looks like. You know, he was trying to keep half of them up in the air and trying to keep them juggled so it wouldn't crush the truck. And I feel like that's our life, is that we're juggling so much stuff in life and that we're throwing so much stuff around. And we only have a 2-ton body, but we got 4 tons of things that we're juggling around. It just feels like too much. And sometimes we just feel like we need to lay some of this down, that I can't carry all this. And when we get in that, we get in this stuckness in life. We get overwhelmed, and we have relationships, and we have families, and now we have torn up knees, and we got marriages, and we got debt, and we got car payments, and you name it, we got it. We got jobs, and we got expectations, and it can all be so much to handle. And when that happens, we get guilty because we're supposed to be able to handle it all. And I can't. And now I feel bad because I'm not where I'm supposed to be. And that guilt leads to anger, and we start getting mad and frustrated because we're supposed to be the man. We're supposed to be able to juggle all this. We're supposed to be able to take care of all this. And then that guilt and anger turns into depression. And before you know it, we just feel bad and sad, and we're just stuck. I've been stuck. I've been stuck before, and it's terrible. And when we're stuck like that, it feels impossible. It feels like nobody can get me out of this. And I want to let you know that we have a God of impossible, and He desires to get you out of that stuckness in life. He wants to do the impossible in your life. And so if I asked you today, if you could have God do something impossible in your life, what would you ask God to do in your life? And for some of us, we would say, God, I want a big house. I want a nice car. But for some of us, if we're honest, God, would you please get me unstuck? I don't want to be stuck anymore. And that's what we're talking about today, is how to get unstuck. And I want to read a couple of quotes to you. A.W. Tozer says that God is looking for those through him that he can do the impossible. God's looking for people that he can do the impossible through. But he says, what a pity that we do only the things that we can do on our own. That hits so hard. The other one is George Mueller. He says, faith does not operate in the realm of possible. There's no glory in that which humanly possible. Faith begins where man's power ends. And the last one is Warren Wiersbe. He says, our faith is not really tested until God asks us to bear what's unbearable, to do what seems unreasonable, and to expect what seems impossible. God wants to do the impossible in our lives. And we say, Brett, that's just quotes from human beings. Well, let's look what God has to say about it. In Jeremiah 32:17, he says, I am the sovereign Lord. I've made the heavens and the earth, and my great arm is stretched out. Is there nothing that is too hard for me? Matthew 19:26 says, Jesus looked at them and he said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. I want to do the impossible in your life. I want to help you recover from this. But how do we get out of this? How do we get to where God can do the impossible? How do we get to that? And that's what we've been going through with the road to recovery. And the first step was to admit that we have something that we need to recover from. The second step is the hope step. To hope that there's a God that's big enough to take care of this stuff. But it's not good enough to just have hope. We can hope, but we have to have the commitment. And that's what we're talking about today, is the commitment step. It's the action step. It's coming forth and saying, God, I can't take care of this anymore. You can hope all you want back there, but unless you come forward and give God a commitment and say, I can't carry it anymore, he can't do anything for you. We've got to make that commitment. And so this is based out of Matthew 11. It says, come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you, for my yoke is easy and my burden is light. He says, come to me. Bring it to me. Whatever it is that you're juggling around, whatever is too much for you, whatever is causing doubt and worry, whatever is causing guilt and shame, he says, bring it to me and I can take it from you. And I love that word, all. It's such an inclusive word. He says it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you've been. It doesn't matter what you're carrying around or what you've done. He says, come to me and I'll take care of it for you. That's a deal, right? That's a deal better than the $5 bag at Wendy's, right? That's better than the $5 biggie box at Taco Bell. That's what I get every time. My wife don't even have to ask me at Taco Bell anymore. I get the $5 box with my hot blast, right? We line up for deals in life. If you go shopping on tax-free weekend, there is people everywhere because it's a deal, right? We go to Black Friday because it's deals. We love deals. This here, come to me, and I'll take it from you. That's a deal. That's a deal better than all the other deals I just mentioned. But why aren't we lining up for that deal? Why aren't we lining up for God to take all of our burden and our shame and our guilt? But we'll line up for Taco Bell. We'll line up at Dick's Sporting Goods. I spent all night outside for an Xbox one time. I sure enough did. I stood out there for like 4 hours in the freezing cold rain. That was when the first Xboxes came out with the controllers about this big, and you played like that, you couldn't hold it like this, it's too much. Anyways, we do deals. This is the deal that we need to do. And so what keeps us from taking this third step? What keeps us from committing everything to God? And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the 5 points that keep us from committing everything over to God. And the first point that keeps us from committing everything over to God is pride. Pride keeps us from giving everything over to God. And if I'm being honest, pride was hard for me to explain. And I think that's probably because I have a pride problem. I was sitting there and I'm like, man, like pride is good. Like I'm an athlete. Like you want to have pride. Like you want to be the best one out there on the field. You want to take pride in what you're doing. You want to have pride in your sport. You know, I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, how I know pride's bad though, because if you look at Scripture, it talks about how pride is at the heart of before the fall. And I'm like, how do I put this into words where people would understand it. So honestly, I got on Google for this one. And Google had a really good explanation for me, and I love it. It said, people have mixed opinions about pride. In one sense, it's a good thing. Have some pride in your work, have pride in what you're doing, but in another sense, it can be bad. It's God's peril, and he warns us, the Lord detests all that are proud in Proverbs 16:5. So which is it? Is pursuing something with all your heart a good thing, or is it a bad thing? And it's a bad thing because God talks about it over and over in Scripture that it can be the downfall. But why? Why can pride be the downfall? And this answered it for me. It said it's because we get so used to being great at everything. We get so used to handling everything. We get so used to taking care of everything that we become our own gods. And I was like, oh, that's it. I get so good at sports, I'm like, hey, I can handle this. I get so good at school, I'm like, I can handle this. I get so good at my job, I'm like, I can handle this. And before you know it, I'm telling God, I got this. I don't need you to tell me what to do. I can handle this. I know how to hit a baseball. I can figure out how to deal with this relationship too. I'm not worried about what you tell me to do because I'm excellent. Pride makes us want to become our own gods. And so if we look at this, it says in Proverbs 18:12, before his downfall, pride was at the center of man's heart. When we think about our hurts and our hang-ups and our habits, we're thinking that's what's at the center of my heart. I have a lust problem. You know, I have a thought problem. Or I have a guilt problem. Or I have a shame problem. No, you have a pride problem. It's pride that's keeping you from going to God with those issues. It's pride that's keeping you from going to people and saying, I'm struggling. It's that pride in your life to let people know that I don't have it figured out. It's not a lust problem. It's not a shame problem. It's not a guilt problem. It's a pride problem. We've got to learn that until we get away from that pride that we can't handle these things on our own. But why is pride difficult? Why do we struggle with pride? You know why we struggle with pride? Because it's built in us as little kids. I got 2 little kids. And I'm like, hey, go brush your teeth. Go be self-sufficient. When they get done with it, I'm like, great job. You did wonderful. Hey, go get dressed. Pick out your clothes. Great job. You did wonderful. And we build our kids up to be self-sufficient, that they get pride in what they do. And they learn to be their own little gods at a little bitty age. And we wonder why we struggle with pride as adults, because we learn to be so self-sufficient in everything that we feel like we can control everything, we can take care of everything. But there's a point in life where you guys say, God, I can't handle it. I can't take everything. And it's our pride that keeps us from doing that. Because inevitably we come across something in life that we can't handle. Inevitably we come across something that burns us down. Inevitably we're come across a problem, a relationship, an issue. And our pride says, I got this, I can handle this, I take care of everything in my life. I know how to brush my teeth, I know how to dress myself, I know how to take care of my job. I can handle this too, but inevitably you can't. You cannot handle it. It's your pride that keeps you from taking it to Jesus. It's a pride issue. In Proverbs 10:8, it says, a wise heart accepts commands. So a proud heart is the fall. A wise heart accepts commands. What is a wise heart? What's the command? Come to me. The command is come to me. It's not a difficult command. It's very easy. My dog knows come to me. Dolly, come. She comes because she doesn't have pride. Because she's willing to submit. She's willing to be lower. We're not willing to be lower. We're not willing to say, I can't handle this. It's pride. You know, the most prideful person ever is a man trying to drive somewhere. I ain't going to ask for directions. Ain't nobody going to tell me I need to get nowhere. And now there's a few of us that will ask for directions. I'm one of those guys. I got to be early everywhere, okay? So I will ask for directions. I'm one of those guys. But if you're not one of those guys, you're the guy that won't ask for help fixing something. You'll spend 4 hours in the driveway changing your own oil before you ask anybody to do it for you. I'm changing my own oil, I'm a man. You know? That's pride for you, right? We're going to do it ourselves. But you know what? There's a lot of us here in life that are driving around. Our gas tank's on E. We're running out. Our kids are yelling in the back. Wife's getting mad. We're just like that man driving around the car. and we won't give it over. We'd rather just drive around. We'd rather just keep driving. We'd rather have chaos going on in the background. We'd rather have everything go sideways. We'd rather watch that gas tank get on E and struggle than come and say, I ain't got it, God. It's the pride. The second point that we're going to talk about today is guilt. Guilt keeps us from making the step to continuously commit to God. And I love this one. This was my favorite one that I came up with today. I liked it. If we look at Genesis at the very beginning, right? God created the world. And when he created the world, he gave man a command. He said, don't eat the fruit, right? And we all know what happened. Regardless if it's man or woman, we can go back and forth all day long about that. There's different sides. I'm sure if you ask some men, they're going to say some women. I'm sure if you ask some women, they're going to say some men. But we know sin happened, right? Sin happened. And Genesis 3:8, right after the sin, it says, then the man and his wife heard the sound of the Lord God as he was walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And they hid from the Lord among the trees. Guilt makes us hide. When we have guilt in our life, we hide from God. When we have things that we're unashamed of, or that we're ashamed of, we hide. We don't want people to know we've done wrong. It's encoded in us. The very first thing they did after they sinned was they ran and they hid from God. They had guilt. And so God came out and he said, where are you? Where are you? Why did he ask them, where are you? God knows where they are, right? He wanted them to admit that they had an issue, that they have a problem, that they have something that they can't take care of. And so what I ask you today is, what's causing you to have guilt? What's causing you to be hung up? What's causing you to be bogged down? What's causing you not to live the life that God's caused you to live? God came out and he said, where are you? And he came out and he said, I hid because I was afraid from you. I was afraid. And God proves to us that you don't have to be afraid of him. Because you know what God did when they came out and they had the conversation? When he came and committed to God all the things that he did wrong, God took care of it for him. God went and had a conversation with the serpent, right? And he said, you're going to crawl on your belly, and then he's going to strike your head with his heel. God took care of the issue when he brought it to him. When you bring things to God, he will take care of that problem just like he did for Adam and Eve. And then not only did he take care of the problem in their life, but they were naked. He provided them clothing. And he put them back where they needed to be. He put them where they weren't unashamed anymore. He clothed them in righteousness. He gave them a new outfit. And the same is true for you, is when you commit your things to God, when you give that guilt and shame over to God, when you're saying, God, I'm not hiding anymore, he'll take care of that brokenness in your life just like he did for them. And then he'll give you new clothes. He'll give you clothes of righteousness so you don't have to be ashamed of the nakedness anymore. You don't have to be ashamed of the brokenness in your life. He wants to clothe you. He wants to take care of you. He wants to get rid of those things in your life. He wants to take care of you. Guilt. What's causing you to have guilt today? What is it in your life? Is it a conversation? Is it something in your marriage? Is it a sin? Is it a habit? What is it that's causing you to hide from God? Can I tell you the best decision you'll ever make is to commit it over to God? Bring it to God. The third thing is fear. Fear. We're afraid of what it might cost us to give it to God. We're afraid. We're afraid that if I give it to God, that I can't control it anymore. We're afraid that if God takes over, it won't be in my realm of being able to handle things. And if we're being honest, we like to control. We're controlled people. You know, I heard a story of a guy that was walking, and he was walking by a cliff, and he fell. And when he fell 500 feet, and he grabbed onto a twig halfway down, and he's hanging onto that twig. And he starts yelling, he's like, help! Help! I'm stuck! Help me! And he hears a voice from down below. It says, this is God. Let go, I got you. He says, is there anybody else? Anybody? That's us. We're hanging on to that twig because it's comfortable there. It's not the best place in the world to be. Halfway up a mountain, hanging onto a twig, 500 feet below us. It's not a great place to be, but it's comfortable because I can control this situation. I know what's happening in this moment. And a lot of times we're just like that person. We're hanging there on that twig. And we're like, I'm going to hang right here because it's good. I know what's going on. I got this situation. And God's saying, just let go. I got you. Let go of the twig that you're holding on to. Quit being afraid. He's saying, I'm here to catch you, but you've got to let go. You've got to let go of what's in your life. You've got to let go of the guilt. Your pride has to let you let go of that guilt. You've got to let it go, but if you let it go, you're not in control anymore. If you let it go, that's a long free fall. But who are you fooling? You're not in control anyways. You're controlled by people's conversations about you. You're controlled by what people think about you. You're controlled by how you dress. You're controlled by everything. You're controlled by TikTok posts. You're controlled by social media. But you know what? When you choose Jesus, you choose what controls you. When you choose Jesus, you finally make the choice of what controls you, because before you choose Jesus, you're being controlled by everything in the world. But when you choose Jesus, you're making the choice of this is what's going to control me. But it's scary to let go. It's scary to go through that free fall. It's scary to just let go of everything and just fall. But Jesus is saying, if you let go, I'm right here. I'm here to catch you. It says that those who sin are a slave to sin. But if you know the truth will set you free. We've all sinned. We're all slaves of that sin. And we're afraid if we let people know that we're sinners, they may think differently of us. We're afraid that if we let somebody know that I don't have it all figured out, they might think differently. We're afraid that if I let somebody know what's going on in my life, they might think differently of me. You know, the Hebrews, they said the same thing. They said, hey, or the Jews, they replied, they said, hey, we're Abraham's bloodline. We've never been slaves. I don't know what you're talking about with this slave talk, Jesus. We ain't slaves. We're from Abraham's bloodline. We're good. We don't need it. And if I'm honest, we can be just like that in church. I'm good. I go to church. I'm there every Sunday. I don't know about that slave business. Ain't nothing going on in my life. Everything's honky-dory and perfect here. We ain't dare gonna let somebody know that something's going on in our life. We're not gonna dare let somebody know that we got brokenness in our life. Because we ain't never been slaves. We're all perfect in this room. And God says, who are you fooling? What are you afraid of? We're all broken. We're all slaves to sin. He said, but if you know the truth will set you free. The truth is Jesus. If you know Jesus, Jesus will set you free. Jesus wants to set you free. It says that how does a man benefit if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? And I got thinking about this, and it reminded me of carrying those groceries in, right? And I don't know about you guys, boy, but I don't leave a single bag in the car. That is my mission when I go out there. I am not making 2 trips to the car to get them bags. Will not. My arms will turn purple, and they will. You can see like my arm looks like it's going to get amputated from the bags and all the pressure on it, right? But I'll come up there and I got stuff, man. I'll have them hanging off my ears if I got to, right? We're getting all the bags in, right? And that's how we come to God, is we're sitting there holding all this stuff, and we got it. God, I got it. I got it all, man. I carried it all. And God's like, I'm here to help you, man. I would have carried all that for you. Come to eat. My burden's light. My yoke is easy. What are you doing? But we ain't going to let go of everything because we got it. That pride ain't going to let me let go of them groceries. I got to get it all by myself. I don't need nobody. Quit being afraid to let it go. God's saying that I want to help you. I can help you out. Worry. Worry is the 4th thing that'll keep us from it. Worry keeps us from surrendering to Christ. It keeps us from making a decision for Christ, from surrendering from Christ. And, you know, in 1963, there's this guy, I don't know if any of y'all know his name. His name was J.F. Kennedy. I know y'all right there on the 4th row and the 3rd row, y'all probably don't know him. He was a president. Yeah. Y'all know what presidents are? Okay. All right, he was a president. Now, this president made a crazy decision. He came out and publicly announced, we're going to the moon. Crazy. Who comes out and says, we going to the moon, right? Everybody's like, that man is nuts. I'm going to the moon? But the thing is he made a decision that this is what we're going to do. We're going to the moon this year. He wasn't worried about how it was going to happen. See, what happens is we get worried about how things are going to happen, but it wasn't his job to figure out how it was going to happen. That was NASA's job to figure out how it was going to happen. He just made the decision, this is what we're going to do, and NASA's going to figure it out. Can I tell you that's what happens when we give our life to Christ? Is we make the decision, I'm going to live for Jesus today. I'm going to set down all these grocery bags today. I'm going to let go of my pride today. I'm not going to be afraid anymore today. And it's God's job to figure out the rest. God will figure all that out, just like NASA figured out how we're going to get to space. JFK had no idea how to get to space, and guess what? You ain't got no idea how God's going to do it in your life neither. You just make the decision, and He's going to handle the rest of it for you. You know, when I gave my life to Christ, I had no idea how God was going to work it out. I had no idea why I'm up here right now. It's because these are the doors that He opened for me. When I gave my life to Christ, I said, you know what, God? I will walk through any door that you open for me. You know why? Because it's better than where I came from. I don't care what it is you ask me to do, but I'm not going back there. I'm not. I will not. It takes that commitment. I can't worry about what God's going to ask me to do. You can't worry about what God's going to ask you to do. He's going to take care of all of it. Can I promise you that? Can I promise you that if you come up here with some brokenness, He's going to take that from you? Can I promise you if you come up here with some pride problems, He's going to take that from you? Can I promise you that if you admit that you got some issues, He's going to put some people in your life that are going to help you through that? He did every single bit of it for me. I couldn't have laid it out. I couldn't have planned it out. I couldn't have drawn it much better. But He did it for me. God will take care of those issues for you. And it's a lot like in World War II, where they took, when they were in the war and stuff, what they would do is they would go in and they would bomb an island, right? They would pelt it with explosives, and they would just cover it and bang it and beat it to death. And a lot of us are in that softening up phase. We're just being pelted from all kinds of directions. We're being bombed. We're being grenaded. There's explosions going off everywhere. And they get to the point where we're like, man, I can't handle this anymore, right? They would soften up the island. Why would they soften up that island? Because then they could slip in and they could get a beachhead in there. And see, when they slipped in and they got a beachhead in there, did that mean that they took over the island? They would get 100 yards forward and they moved 20 yards back. They'd get 20 yards forward and move 100 yards back. But the thing is their presence was on the island. And from there, that they would liberate the island from there. Can I tell you, a lot of that's like that when you give your life to Christ. He gets a beachhead in your life. He moves in, He takes over a little bit of your life, and He says, hey, guess what? I'm going to fight these wars from you. It doesn't mean total liberation at the moment. We feel like when we give our life to God that everything's got to happen at one moment. He's like, no, I'm going to get a beachhead in your life. Don't worry about everything. I'm going to fight these battles, and before you know it, you'll be totally liberated. But right now, let me take care of these battles. Let me take care of this war. Commit to me. Give it all to me. Jesus wants a beachhead in your life. He wants to take care of everything going on in your life. But maybe we're worried that we can't hold on. Maybe that's the worry. Maybe if I give my life to Christ, I can't hold on to that because at some point I'm going to fall. At some point I'm going to fail. At some point I'm not going to be able to live it out, right? I'm human. I can't do it. Isaiah 41:13 says, for I, the Lord, your God, hold your right hand. I hold your right hand. I have a hold of it. And He says, fear not, for I will help you. And that made me think a lot about like walking my kid into school for the first day, right? So worried. So worried about classes. Got to change classes this year. Oh my gosh. That's a big thing for a kid changing classes. He's got 2 teachers. Worried to death. He wasn't as long as Daddy was walking and holding his hand though. God's holding your hand. What are you afraid of? What are you worried of? He's a good God, and He's telling you that I'm going to take care of this. Philippians 1:8 says that God who began a work in you will keep right on helping you to grow in His grace. God who began a good work in you will keep on doing it. Truth, fact, written. If he did something in your life, he's going to keep doing it. If you commit your life to him and you say, God, I want you to take all this from me, he's not going to abandon you, let you look like a joke. He's going to keep walking with you. God wants to do something in your life. Quit worrying about how it's going to happen. He's going to take care of it. The last thing is doubt. Doubt is the feeling of uncertainty, to be afraid. And when I thought of doubt, I was like, there's nobody other than my man Moses that I can talk about when it comes to doubt, right? He is the epitome of doubt. Pharaoh came to Moses and said, I need you to liberate my people. I need you to set my people free. He's like, I don't know if you know me, God, but I was found in a river. Kind of messed up home life. They found me, I don't have a good home life. That created anger in me. I got mad and I murdered somebody after that. You sure you want to use me? He's like, yeah, I want to use you. And he's like, I'm not very eloquent. I don't talk very well. He's like, that's fine. See, a lot of us are like Moses. We have doubt. We look at all the things in life that we do wrong. God, my whole life is screwed up, it's jacked up. I fight with my wife all the time. I yell at my children. My kid can't run fast enough. I get mad at him because he ain't the athlete that I was. We get caught up in these things. God, I don't know if you see this, but I'm not great. We magnify the issues in our life. We get a magnifying glass out. We're like, God, I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at this. We make all these things big, and we magnify all these problems in our life, and it makes God real tiny. When we focus on all the things that we're not, just like Moses, it's hard to see a big God. But it says if you have faith as small as a mustard seed. See, what I want you to know is it's not how big your faith is. It's what you put your faith in. And Moses put his faith in a big God. And that big God did big things, right? What did that big God do? He liberated all those people with an uneloquent murderer that didn't even know his family. Quit doubting yourself. God's got a plan for you. It may not be Moses' plan, it may not be my plan, but God's got a plan for you. Quit magnifying the things in your life. Look at a big God. Look at how big he is. Focus on how big God is and how he wants to do these things in your life. There's a story about a kid, and he used to walk to school every single day. And when he walked to school, there's a bridge that he went across every single day. And one day, he was late, he was behind, he was in a rush, he's in a hurry. Can't be late to school, Things are sideways, he's dragging his bag along. This little old man walks by him. He sees the old man, he's like, I ain't got time for that. I can't deal with that old man right now, I got a lot to do today. And you remember his mom saying something to him. It says, if you know what you're supposed to do, you already have the answer. If you know what you're supposed to do, you already have the answer of what you should do. And so that stopped him right there in his tracks. Knowing that he was going to be late, knowing that he didn't have the time for it, knowing that it was going to put him behind on everything, he turned around and he helped the old man. And he started helping the old man carry his grocery bags. And as he started helping the old man carry his grocery bags, he got to know the old man. He got to know his life. He got to know his story. He got to know about his kids. And he learned to like the old man. And him and the old man became friends. When I heard that story, it made me think a lot about us. We're in a hurry. I ain't got time to stop for Jesus right now. It's going to hold me back. I got a career. I got kids. I got a job. I got to make money. I cannot handle that right now. I'll get to it later, but right now is not the time. But if you know what you're supposed to do, you already got the answer. And when you turn around and go to Jesus and you come to him like he says, come to me, you'll get to know him. You'll get to know all about him. And you'll learn to love him. But the thing about Jesus, he ain't going to hand you those grocery bags. He's going to carry those grocery bags all the way home. But he's going to talk to you, and he's going to love you the whole way. And so what I want to ask you today is, as we go into this invitation, is what are you carrying today? What are you dragging around, as Billy said? What ball and chain do you have pulling behind you? What are you carrying that you just feel like it's too much? What are you juggling like that truck? Do you have 4 pounds of canaries in a 2-pound truck? What's going on in your life? What is too much? What is that burden that you just can't handle anymore? Are you still in that back row? Man, I tell you, I was glued to that row like a piece of bubble gum on the bottom, man. But my heart was broken inside every single Sunday. Every single time that Billy did this, I knew that I needed to get up there. I knew that I needed to make a commitment. I knew that that was not the life I was supposed to be living. But I was too dang worried about how it was going to happen. God's got all that. Don't worry about it. Just come and do what you're supposed to do. If you already know the answer, do what you're supposed to do. So in this moment, this is that time. If you've got something in your life, if you've got some brokenness, if you've got some guilt, if you've got some shame, whatever it may be, if you don't know Jesus, this is where you make the commitment. And trust that Jesus is going to figure it all out from there. So we're going to move into a moment of invitation. Y'all can stand up and sing along and worship. If you need to come pray, you can come pray and kneel at the altar. If you've got something that you need to commit to Jesus, Billy's going to be over here, I'm going to be over here. This is the time that we're going to come do business.
For my daily bread, I depend on you. I depend on you for the sun to rise, for my sleep at night. I depend on you. Yes, I depend on you. You're the way, the truth, and the life. You're the well that never runs dry. I'm the branch and you are the vine. Draw me close and teach me to abide. Where the Spirit leads, as I'm following, I depend on you. I depend on you for the victories still in front of me. I depend on you. Yes, I depend on you. You're the way, the truth, and the life. You're the well that never runs dry. I'm the branch and you are the vine. Draw me close and teach me to abide. Be my strength, my song in the night. Be my all, my treasure, my prize. I am yours forever, you're mine. Draw me close and teach me to abide. When I pass through death, as I